Welcome to our 23rd session on the training on how to develop, market, and sell your product or service as an entrepreneur or an employer. My names are Simon Mbui Kayekesi. As usual, we normally start with two slogans where we want to give ourselves the direction of our training, and basically these slogans summarize where we are going or what we are talking about. Need to have some value in order for us to share that value or to supply that value or take this value to the market, the marketplace. So basically, you and I need to possess value. And why should we possess value? Because the marketplace is in need of that value, which you have as a problem solver. So basically, I need to possess value to exchange it for value in the marketplace. You also equally need to possess value to exchange that value for cash or for any other form of payment that you may be able to get from the marketplace. This is what God was able to design concerning our being here on earth, when He said, "Be fruitful, multiply your fruit, then fill the earth and subdue," so that at the end of the day, you can have dominion. God was basically talking about the concept of value, that you needed to go into productivity so that you add value to the resources that He was able to put in the earth. And that's why you find that in Genesis chapter 1, verse 29 through to 30, God is telling man to behold the trees and the fruit that was to come out of the trees, and also the seed in the fruit for purposes of continuity. And then He also tells man to behold the animals. So He was basically talking about man going into value addition, adding value to the resources within man himself, and also the resources around man and beyond where man is. We thank God now with the globalization and also technology, despite the fact that, yes, they have their own disadvantages, but then we will not just concentrate on the disadvantages of globalization and technology. But I think what is clear is that these have made us to be able to access certain resources which would have been very difficult for us to access had it not been for globalization and technology. For example, my just use of Zoom right away to communicate with a number of you people all over the world, and also the use of Facebook. And then after this, I get this information, send it on YouTube and other social media platforms. You find that all that is making use of, taking advantage or making use of technology, and also the aspect of globalization. So you need to possess value to exchange it for value in the marketplace. And also the second slogan is, the second slogan has been that, do I want to be well getting on the sales and also on the profits. So you have to own the product, Then you go to the next level, you own the marketing, and then you own the sales. And finally, which is the ultimate of any given business, it's for you and I to own the profits. And this is what makes you be a business owner. Business ownership is about you own the discussion on that one is how much percentage want to get involved in. So when you have the knowledge of that value chain, it will help you to appreciate what you are required to do and to know where to start from and where you can be able to end when it comes to that value chain. Where do you start from and where do you end? With other people who put in something that sets us apart from other people. I think I've been citing my own example that yes, I am talking about entrepreneurship, but my approach to entrepreneurship that sets me out, that differentiates me from the other entrepreneurship teachings is that I am approaching it with the aspect of the employer in you concept or insights. And it is this employer in you insights that differentiates me from any other person who is talking about entrepreneurship related type of teachings. So basically, the whole point is that you need to make sure that in a given value chain where you go in with understanding, with knowledge, you can be able to make yourself different. Make yourself different. And how do you make yourself different or make your product different? You have to go into capitalize on the concept of differentiation. As I was able to quote Brian Tracy, who has talked about specialization, concentration, segmentation, and differentiation. So basically, you have to make sure that we you differentiate yourself, you concentrate, and then you segment and you specialize. So we last time established the fact that you need to know that one's finished product is another's raw material. And basically, all we are saying is that, for example, like for myself, I'm into book writing and publication. So then I cited an example of of a tree, and all I indicated is that I am actually in the tree value chain. How am I in the tree value chain? By getting involved in book publication. So then, what was the point we established? I established a point that I may not necessarily go into a processing of a tree into paper. But what it is that I've entered the tree value chain through me joining the tree value chain at a secondary or at an upper level, the secondary level, where I end up simply buying paper. But then we are also indicated the fact that I may not even necessarily buy paper. All I can do is go to somebody who can be able to publish in fact, not publish. I said I am into self-publishing. I'm a self-publisher. So all I need to do is go to somebody who can be able to print, go to a printer to print. And all that I can do is go to this person or a company, and then this company can be able to give me a quote, and this quote I can be able to pay the company. The company can be able to go and buy the paper. But the most important point here is that pick a position in the value chain where you can be able to operate from. If you have to enter the tree value chain, from you going into owning a sawmill, like I cited the sawmill, which we used to have here in Zambia, in Southern Province, the Mulobezi sawmills. If I can be able to enter the tree value chain from that level, the primary level there, I can be able to decide, say, okay, I'll go into sawmills, and from there I'll be selling timber. I'll go up to a particular distance or space within that value chain. And we established that we are going to do that because you and I need to avoid being a jack of all trades and master of none. We must be able to master. And this is where specialization becomes very, very, very important. So like my example, I'm saying, instead of me going straight away to deal with a tree and process it or whatever source the paper comes from, I will be able to join the tree value chain or the paper value chain from me simply buying paper. And then from there, I translate that paper and add value. The value addition in this case will be for me to get the words that I have been able to create or to type, and then print them on the paper, and that printing of the words on the paper will constitute value addition, and then package the book in the form like the one I have now. I just published this some weeks ago. It is the Employer in You, You Were Born an Employer poems. So this is the value that I've been able to add to the paper. And then another person, like we are saying, one's finished product is another's raw material. Another person may get this book. I can be able to sell it at wholesale price, for example, and another person will pick this book and then use it, add value through most likely maybe the process of marketing. Add value, maybe I may sell this book, just as an example, I may end up selling this book at wholesale price of, so let's take it that I'll sell it at 40 kwacha. Another person gets this book at a point when the person, for me, when I sell it, it will have become my finished product. But the other person who will pick this book and go and market it in a given market that that person knows will be adding value to this book. It means the book will have turned out to be a raw material to that person who might end up selling this same book that I sold at 40 kwacha. The person might end up selling it at 60 kwacha. In that case, this person will be making a gross profit of 20 kwacha. Of course, that's why we are calling it a gross profit, because this person, for him or her to buy the book, there will be aspects of transport costs and other costs. So then, of course, the actual the net profit will not be 20 kwacha. The net profit will be something less than a 20 kwacha. But the most important point here is that my finished product may turn out to be another person's raw material. So the person who has bought a book from me at 40 kwacha and goes to use to sell this book and make a 20 kwacha, a markup of 20 kwacha on the 40 kwacha book, and then by selling the book at 60 kwacha would mean that the person is using my finished product of this book. My finished product has now become that person's raw material, and then the chain would continue. Another person may pick this book, like with this book. These are poems I have translated. I've got the information on the employer in your insights and written this into written the message, transformed the message into poems, the employer in your poems. And basically, I am teasing myself, actually, the man called Simon. So, for example, one of my poems is Simon and salary. And then also the other poem is Simon and conquering the enemy called salary. And so what I'm saying is another person may pick this who have bought this book from that person who bought it from me at 40 kwacha, then goes to sell this book at 60 kwacha. So the one who would have bought this book at 60 kwacha, let's take it that the person is having a school and can be able, therefore, that person can be able to use this same information, okay, from the poems, the poems book, and be able to use it to teach, for example, literature in English. In fact, this book, as far as my dream is concerned, it has to go into schools, so that schools can be able to use this book to communicate the employer in your message packaged in form of poems. So I'm saying that the one who would have bought this book, let's take it that it is a school, it has bought the copies of this book from that one who bought a book from me at 40 kwacha, so used the book, my finished product, as his or her raw material. So the person goes and sells the book at 60 kwacha to a given school or to a teacher. And this school or the teacher now picks up this book as a finished product to the one who sold it to him or her or to that institution. the institution will pick this book and use it as a raw material. So then they'll, for example, come to the employer in you poem 4, which is Simon and Conquering the Enemy Called Salary. So then the teacher, the literature in English teacher can be able to use this book to communicate or to teach pupils on the employer in your insights, and also at the end of the day, use this book to examine the pupils in the area of the employer in your poems. I wanted to read a part of one of my poems, Simon and Conquering the Enemy Called Salary, and the other one is Simon and Salary. Let me briefly read the one talking about Simon and Salary. This is the employer in you, poem 3. So let's take it that the book now is in a classroom, and the pupils have been made by the teacher to read a poem written by Simon Kayekesi. Remember, we are talking about the fact that you and I should know that one's finished product is another's raw material. As far as I'm concerned, I entered the 3 value chain at the buying of paper, and then this book was printed. Then another person came and bought this book from me at 40 kwacha, and went and this person used this book as a raw material. And the raw material in the context, not that the person is going to manufacture. No, is not going to manufacture, but the person has bought an already manufactured book. So then it becomes a raw material to an extent that the person is going to add value to the book, which is bought at 60 kwacha, to take it to a particular market and sell this book at 60 kwacha. And then I was saying that a school or a teacher gets this book written by Simon Kayekesi, which is already a finished product. So it's a finished product to me, and then it is a finished product to the one who sold the book to the school who bought it at 40 kwacha, and then now the value the value addition continues, and now it is in a class, and the teacher is communicating this message to the pupils or to the student. So this therefore would be a raw material being used by the teacher in order to produce a product, and that product is the product called a learner, who we have learned the employer in your insights. So I was saying that I needed to just to read a part of the employer in your poem 3 entitled Simon and Salary. So like I already indicated, the poems are communicating, talking about me actually, Simon. As though someone is talking to me and saying, Simon, Simon, why this, and so forth. And through that, I've done this to make sure that I repackage the employer in your message and take it into various forms. Again, I am also using my finished products to turn them into what? My raw material. So I published the books, and I'm continuing publishing the employer in your series books. But at the same time, I am saying, how can I repackage my own books and give them out in a different form? So here is one of the forms, which is the the poem, Simon and Salary. You, Simon, where did you miss it? Just imagine the potential millionaire you are, only to be reduced to a denominator called salary. How come, when your denominator should have been profit, giving you dividends? Simon, Simon, who bewitched you to the extent that you, an intelligent, brilliant man, could be brought to a salary denominator? Why become a cost of production when you should have given yourself a name, profit, dividend? You mean when you taught that mathematics on denominators, you just gave theory without practice, Simon? Simon, who bewitched you? Is it the education system which has a pattern of creating employees instead of employers? Or is it the culture of creating employees? Is it the fear to take risks, dear Simon? Or is your paradigm, your mindset for a salary instead of a dividend? Who bewitched you to reduce yourself to a salary denominator? Simon, 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 you should have done better. So this is part of the poems, which is the employer in your poem number 3, entitled Simon and Sarah. So basically the principle I am sharing here is that in a value chain, and with the concept of value addition, which constitutes businesses, all businesses around are about value chains and value addition. So what I was explaining is that here is a teacher, he now picks this book and uses this book as a raw material to produce a product called a learner, whose mindset would be a mindset not only of producing learners who end up getting stranded when they don't get a job out there, but that his aim is to make sure he communicates a message on the employer in your insights to the learners who would end up not getting stranded, learners who are prepared to go out there, to go into society, to look for value chains and locate themselves in selected value chains that they will be chosen in order for them to be employers, in order for them to have a product where the market can be able to ask them the big market question, and that big market question is the question, how much? And then so that they can also be able to give the market the big market answer and say, my product is worth this much. And that is what business is all about. So basically, all we are saying is that we need to have this understanding, we need to have this understanding, yes, and also the knowledge. But to begin with, you must be able to have the knowledge of the type of business that you are going into, and also on top of that knowledge, you need to have an understanding why things operate the way they do, or why do things not work the way you might have thought they work, and yet they work in another way. So basically, it's about you acquiring knowledge about the type of business you are going into, the value chain of that business, and also at the same time having an understanding. Remember, we have established that knowledge answers the question what, understanding answers the question why, wisdom answers the question how. Therefore, wisdom is an application element, and applying the knowledge that we have acquired, the understanding that we have been able to acquire. And it is by wisdom that we can be able to build our business ventures. And I wanted to communicate the next point, being that you need to understand that every business, okay, understand that, yes, every business has its own language. So what you need to do is understand the language of the business in your chosen value, in your chosen value chain. The man of God, T.D. Jakes, has said every business has its own language. So that business in which you are ventured, or in which you are, have you paid attention to understanding the language of that business? For example, again, using myself as an example, I have so far, I think I indicated it here sometimes back, that I have so far understood the language of books. At least almost every now and then, I'm doing some research to find out how do you, for example, package a book, like the book I'm holding right in my hands here. I have done it from the aspect of typing up to organizing it, book setting. I've also participated in book design, and all I now do, where I've reached now, is I just take this book to somebody that I'm working with and say, please, can you check and see whether what I've done is correct or not? And when he goes through, then he can say, okay, this is correct. I think here can we improve on this aspect, and so forth. And at the end of the day, I have come to understand the book language. I'm still understanding. I'm not yet fully there. So it means, therefore, that I continue into this school of understanding the book business in the book value chain. So I need to have this understanding, because it will help me to avoid people cheating me. I think I've always cited an example that I learned at one particular time when I decided to do to learn on carpentry. I got a woodwork book from some friends, and as I read it, in the process, I came to learn in the process that there was a carpenter, a customer who went to a carpenter, and this carpenter said, I have not yet finished your product because I need to order dowels from, let's cite it that it was in Sorez. So the carpenter says, I've not yet ordered the dowels from Kitwe. Now the question basically is, what are dowels? And apparently, because this customer did not understand what dowels were, he or she ended up believing the carpenter, and left thinking the carpenter was supposed to be given time to make the dowels arrive from Kitwe to Sorezi. But then I came to learn that actually dowels don't need to be got from a far distance. A dowel is basically a piece of a plank, an offcut, in fact, from a plank or an offcut, which is in form of wood. And you get this piece of wood, and then make it into a nail-like, and then you therefore push it in a hole in your in your wood for your work, so that it seals that hole. And so the basic aspect about understanding the language of a given business in a chosen value chain is that you need to have some working knowledge. At least now, like I've indicated even in the past, because I've acquired this knowledge in the book value chain, even when I'll be able to involve other people. Remember, I'm talking about not avoiding being a jack of all trades. The fact that I've known these processes does not mean to say that I have to continue doing the same type of things through and through. No, in the long run, I may need to outsource, and outsourcing is a principle that now brings in employees or partners to work with us, so that we improve, like we have already established, on the areas of efficiency, effectiveness, and economy. Remember, we talked about the three E's. We're saying check and make sure that what you are doing is economical. Number two, make sure that it is efficient and effective, and efficiency is about the output over input. How much are you putting in and how much are you getting out? And then effectiveness is how well are you doing something. So even me, the point I'm putting across about us understanding the language of the business in your chosen value chain is that I may not forever continue doing the things I've said I have learned to do, but it helps me never to be cheated by a given person in the book industry, because I know the language in the book or in the book value chain, and I'm still getting to know that language, and then understand why things are the way they are supposed to be. In the past, I didn't know the differences in the sizes of books. This book is an A5, and then I came to realize that a book, therefore, like this one, is a B5. So at least now I understand that language. When we are talking this book, okay, you are saying it will cost me for your printing of this book, it will cost me 30 kwacha. Will it be an A5 or it will be a B5? And then the issues of pages, now I'm able to understand issues to do with the spine of a book and all those aspects within that given field that I have chosen to operate in the book value chain. So you have to understand the language of the business in your chosen value chain, because every business has its own language. So basically, that's the point I wanted to connect to the aspect of us being able to acquire knowledge, acquire understanding and wisdom for a given business that we choose to go into within that value chain that we have decided to operate in. We need to have that understanding of the understanding and knowledge of where to start from and where to end. Where should I move with my product from it being a raw material, a work in progress, until when I produce it, and then allow other people to take over from where I end as my finished product, so that they can continue putting up some markup on from where I've ended, and then so that they make their own money out of that. And this is what business is all about. And that being connected to the aspect of value chain, which is actually an aspect of creating value. And this brings us to the point that you should know that creating a value is equal to money making. A man called the Eben Pagan has said that creating value is equal to money making. Why are we going into business? We are going into business not just as a hobby. We are not just going into business just to play it just like a game, but we are going into business in order for us to do what? To make money. Now, how do we make money? We make money by creating value. And how do we create value? We create value by adding value to raw materials. And I've already explained the fact that a raw material may not necessarily, in this explanation that I'm giving, it may not necessarily be manufacturing this book and making it the way it is. Yes, I remember that is what we were made to understand the concept of a raw material, to simply mean a primary material, maybe get a tree, turn it into paper, and so forth as a raw material. But in this context, we are saying that a raw material is something that you pick up in order for you to add value on, so that at the end of the day, you can be able to make money out of it. So a person picking this book, the way it is packaged like this, will pick it as a raw material and then go and add value. Because this book is in my house here and it is looking for someone to buy it. And it is not until this book is picked by somebody who must take it out there to market it will it be able to be bought. Otherwise, it will be inventory. And I can even sleep hungry if this book was not bought. So if someone came and, for example, got this book at 80 kwacha, and then the person decided to sell this book at 100 kwacha, it means that the person has made this book as his or her raw material, and then has gone to add value. The person has created value. How has the person created value? He has created value by moving the book out of my house to go and take it to where a buyer is, so that that buyer gives him or her both that 80 kwacha, which was given to me as the cost price, and then the 20 kwacha, which is a markup, and in this case we call it, which is the gross profit. That's the whole point about creating value. So then it is important that we know that creating value is equal to money making. So it's a question of looking for which raw material do I need to add value to. So the value addition, like this example I've just given, might simply mean getting the employer in your book from me, getting it at wholesale price, and you're going to sell this book at retail price. You get it, for example, like I have already cited, without a risk of repetition. Of course, it's important to repeat, especially in learning. You get this book at 8 kwacha, and then the person now adds value to this book by going to market it, taking it to a market where this book is needed, and adds a 20 kwacha. So this book will have become a raw material. So this is the whole aspect about us being able to make money by creating value. And how do we create value? We create value by adding value, by going into value addition. And like I cited earlier on, there are people who are making millions and millions of dollars without necessarily them, for example, going into growing vegetables. All they do is they just look for where are vegetables sold, where are they being sold, and then they would go there and then buy these vegetables. In this case, they are making those vegetables, picking them as their raw material, and then they add value and take these raw materials to a market where they are required. I think the most important thing that we are establishing here is you to know the value chain in which you can be able to participate, where your millions of dollars could be got from, and also basically you knowing where to start from and where to end, and then focus on creating value that will equal money making, because business, like we have again said, is basically about money making. So what type of value are you and I going to add to the raw materials that surround us, even the raw materials within us in terms of our human capital, the raw materials around us and beyond us, so that we can be able to create value by value addition. In so doing, we can be able to make money. We shall continue from where we have ended today. Thank you very much. I hope you have been able to benefit quite a lot from what I've been able to share with you. God bless you.
Thank you, Simon. We have understood, and it's beneficial. I hope tomorrow we'll be together again at the same time.
Hello.
Thank you. Hello, Simon.
Hello.
Hello, I'm
Hello.
getting you. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, I'm getting you.
Hello.
He's not getting me.
I'm getting
Hello.
you.
Okay, I said I'm getting you as well.
Yes, please.
And it has been very beneficial, actually.
I see.
You know, I've just realized that I've missed a lot all this time that the training has been going on.
Yes, please.
Except I was trying to fidget, you know, with the technology, just how to join the meeting and the like.
Yes.
Yeah, otherwise
Okay.
it's beneficial, or
Yes,
join the next session again.
Yes, the next session is on Monday, 20 hours.
Okay.
And you can also catch me, for those which you say you have missed, you can either catch me on my Facebook page. Type Simon Kayekesi. In my timeline, you'll find a number of those recordings we have done. And also I've posted some of them on my YouTube page. Simon Kayekesi. Yes, please.
All right.
Please.
Thank you. I hope I can catch up with those on YouTube and Facebook.
And Facebook, yes, please. That's why we have made sure we record these, so that those who miss us now, they might catch us on Christmas, on New Year's Day, and those who missed us will catch us on the Christmas Day.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Please. So any other contribution, please? It's open to contribution. until when it will be cut, we still have time instead of us going out, we can continue discussing. Hello, who is going on the floor? Can raise your hand. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Frederick.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. How are you?
Fine, fine. Merry Christmas.
Yes, please. I wish you God's wisdom, understanding, and knowledge in your business.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah,
please.
I will be doing value addition.
You'll be doing
I
value
joined.
addition.
I'm saying I joined a bit late. I'll be able to. I'll catch up on YouTube.
Please.
But I've got something on creating value.
I see.
That it's not necessarily that you have to be, I mean, to use the actual raw materials. So whatever you can lay your hands on, it becomes your raw material.
Good.
So what I say is that in marketing, I think the aspect of marketing which you talked about earlier on,
yes,
is one way of creating value,
yes.
of how to market your products. That is part of value addition.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And to make sure that your products reach the intended purpose and you get a return.
I like that.
So that's quite a challenge.
A challenge or an opportunity?
Yeah, that's a challenge which is there to make value, create value so that you make money.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, it becomes an opportunity, but it's a challenge. You have to think on how you are going to create that value so that you make money. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So it requires thinking outside the box and not doing as business as usual, no.
Okay.
Otherwise, it has been quite beneficial, like the other colleague has mentioned. The teachings, the lessons are quite beneficial. We are getting a lot. It's only that sometimes it's the timing. In 20 hours, it has got its own challenges. Sometimes you join when the training has already started.
I see. So do you have some
Hello?
other timing in mind? Do you have any timing in mind, proposal?
Hello?
Do you have any proposal in terms of timing?
Hello? Network, hello?
Hello?